Candy, please stop giving this girl that much energy. Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole giving you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. And this is my review on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 15, Episode 3, A Star is Reborn. So we start off with Sheree. She has the ladies over for brunch, Sonya and Marlo, and they talk about a couple of different things, giving recaps of what has happened since the season has started. But the main thing that they talk about is Mama Joyce. She is at Todd's neck yet again. She just will not get over Todd. And at this point, I'm just like, this is getting old. It's been old, but at this point, I just roll my eyes at Mama Joyce at this point because Candy and Todd have been married, I want to say definitely over 5 years at this point. Like, what is it going to take for you to back up? I just don't get it. But moving on. Next, we have Ralph and Drew going rock climbing, and they talk about her music career again. Not really much to see here. Then Candy is being a drill sergeant about her business, which, I'm kind of the same way. I'm a big perfectionist, so I totally get that. But again, not really much to see there also. So then we get to Candy, and Candy has to talk with Don Juan, about all of the things that she has coming up. But then Monyetta comes in and they talk about BravoCon. And this episode is really doing a recap about what happened at BravoCon. And so Candy talks to Don Juan and Monyetta about her mama being disrespectful. And my thing is, Candy really has the power to put her foot down in this situation. You can still respect your mother, but at the same time, tell her that she needs to respect you as well. Respect you as a woman, respect you as an adult, and respect your relationship. Like, at the end of the day, Mama Joyce just comes off like she's very miserable, and misery needs company, and she wants Candy to be single and miserable like her. I feel like if Candy doesn't put her foot down, she will continue to come at Todd forever. So at this point, instead of you talking to Don Juan and Monyetta saying she needs to respect my marriage, go to her about that. Put your foot down. You know what I mean? Because Mama Joyce has never been happy about any man that Candy has picked. I mean, we started off Candy being on this show with her mother complaining about the man that she chose. And granted, that guy, rest in peace, did have like 6 kids by 6 different baby mamas, I think. So I could get that. But when it becomes a pattern with every man that Candy brings around, you have an issue with, I don't think it's them at this point. It's you. So she needs to put her foot down. Like, at this point, I'm over it. Candy, put your foot down and put your foot down on camera. So you can let it be known, since she likes to talk about your man to the world, put your foot down in front of the world when it comes to your mother and telling her to respect your husband or respect your family. Because one point that she really made tonight, which was a valid point, that her children may see this one day. And how does that look at their own grandmother is talking mess about their daddy? Like, it's just ridiculous. So, moving on. Drew and Ralph have dinner with Courtney, child. And we find out that Courtney's baby daddy is Bryce, and he was a group member of Groove Theory and also an actor as well. And he comes over with Courtney to have dinner with Ralph and Drew. Child, Drew calls Candy knowing damn well Ralph told her that there was some tension between Candy and Courtney at that Ross B-Day party. He actually mentioned that when Drew came back from Chicago. So I don't even know why her ass sat up there and put Candy on the phone on FaceTime and said, say hey to Courtney. And Courtney fake ass was like, hey. It was just so messy. And Drew was like, I didn't know it was this much tension. Girl, you full of it. But again, you an actress, so you played that off very, very well. So with that, the main thing in this actual scene is that she is saying that she has been invited by Candace, which I think she's on the Real Housewives of Potomac. She's been invited by Candace to perform at Candace Showcase or performance or whatever it is. So at Drew's performance, because again, not that much drama going on, but at Drew's performance, Marlo says Candy hasn't forgiven her. And, of course, she has to throw shade. She was like, if she was a man, she would forgive me. If she's a chicken wing, if I was a chicken wing, she would forgive me. But here's the thing, Marlo. I'm a firm believer that once you see people for who they are, just accept them and keep your distance. So what is there to really forgive? Everyone knows how you are at this point. You're always throwing shade. You're always going below the belt. So what is there to forgive? You are who you are. She'll say hello, but she'll keep her distance. And I don't blame her. So next, we see this performance by Candace. And I mean, I guess I'm not going to even comment on the performance, but Drew did her little short performance. And I mean, it was short. All they did was keep going back and forth with the same lyrics. They didn't even do a good like harmony on the lyrics, but she did still sound good. So I guess I can give her props on that. But then after the performance, the girls link up. And of course, Sonya needs her moment to talk about Drew and how she thought her and Drew was moving forward. But, at the end of the day, Drew, did that nonsense at BravoCon saying that, Sonya wanted to make a moment on the season, which I still agree that she did. But Drew was like, look, you coming to my performance is an olive branch. So let's move on. And I agree. And clearly the girls agreed too, because this beef is forced. It's not really a real beef. It's just forced. It's fake. It's phony. And I think we're all over it at this point. So they decide to move forward. But we'll see how long that lasts because, Sonya comes off very shady as hell. So Candy confronts Courtney about that ghetto comment. And I'm just mad that Candy is allowing this girl who has no peach and no relevance to allow her to get Candy just I don't get it, but she allows Courtney to get her so upset. And to me, it's so not worth it. Like, you are a housewife, a veteran housewife, and I guess it creates beef, so it gives ratings. But I'm just like, when Courtney said you are so triggered, I had to agree with that because I'm like, where is this coming from? I wouldn't give this girl that type of energy. Like, I just wouldn't. And Candy gives it to her every single time. But with that, Marlo tries to bring up the shooting at Blaze. And so Drew decides to kind of be a little PC about it. And she's like, Candy, about the incident. And Marlo's like, what incident you talking about? Oh, you mean the shooting at Blaze? And, Candy doesn't want to talk about it. And Marlo's like, well, I'm about to leave because here we go again when Candy not wanting to talk about stuff. And Candy comes back and says, let's talk about how you sliced the girl's face. And so that was a good comeback. But then Marlo's like, oh my gosh, 23 years ago. I'm at this point, I'm sick of Marlo because Candy has been way more transparent on this show than Marlo has ever been. So at the end of the day, if Candy doesn't want to talk about one or even a couple of situations, that's fine. She's been transparent about a lot of other stuff. What have you been transparent about, Marlo? Besides you always going below the belt talking about Candy and Kenyon. We know nothing about you. So at this point, like, how about you are transparent about your life and not just when it comes to your nephews? Be transparent about everything. And maybe people will get tired. Well, I don't think people are necessarily tired of you at this point, but I'll just say this. I think if you were more transparent, people wouldn't just constantly see you as a bully of constantly coming at Candy and Kenyon. Like, it's not enough anymore about your nephews because those scenes aren't really giving anything either. But you sound like you have a very colorful past. And I'm sure if you share just some of it, we will find you more intriguing besides you constantly coming for Candy and Kenyon. That's all I got to say about that. So then, after that, we see a little clip that says 30 minutes after production cut. Drew is talking to Marlo, and Drew is saying how, she was trying to be PC because it is a sensitive subject about the shooting, and how Drew is from Chicago and she has had family members that, have been unalived or hurt by shootings. And at this point, Marlo brings something up about how Marlo mentioned her nephew, because she did mention earlier that she had a nephew who was a chef who had got unalived, okay? And so she's saying that she told Candy because Marlo's nephew used to work for Candy at Old Lady Gang. So she sends a text message to Candy, and we're seeing proof of these text messages that Marlo tells Candy, my nephew, is unalive because of a roommate situation. And Candy responds like, oh, damn, I'm sorry to hear that. So the next thing we see is a footage from, I think, 2 years ago that wasn't aired on TV. And Marlo is mentioning the actual situation with her nephew and how the roommate unalived her nephew. And Candy is acting as if she didn't know about it. And she's like, oh, wow. Like, she's acting like it's brand new to her. And so she's holding that against Candy. But here's the thing. You're saying that she was acting brand new, like she hadn't heard it, but you were also talking to her as if she didn't hear it. And my take on this is, we all know that in reality TV, there may be things that you are already privy to or you're already aware of, but when you are actually filming, sometimes you have to introduce it as if the person doesn't know that you're the person that you're talking to. So in my opinion, that scene was really about Marlo explaining what happened and Candy responded as if she didn't know because it was a scene for the show. I don't think she was purposely trying to be fake, because at the end of the day, a lot of the times you have to introduce things that happen, even if they happened months ago. You have to introduce them when you're recording or you're, filming. You have to introduce it like people aren't aware of it. So Marlo Child just tried to find any reason to talk about Candy or try to find a reason to dig at Candy. I didn't think it was that serious. The way that Marlo presented it on the footage, Candy responded in that way. Marlo, you presented it like she didn't know about it. Candy responded like she didn't know about it. The end. Child, she find any reason to talk about Candy. I don't know. It's getting obsessed at this point. But anywho, that was the episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. It looks like it's getting a little bit better. I'm gonna continue to see how this season goes, but I just need for Candy. I definitely have no problem holding all the girls accountable. I've definitely held Candy accountable on a lot of things, but at this point, the attacks on Candy are just too much. But I just need Candy to handle it another way. You have the control in the situation. All of the girls who are beefing at with you, they want to be you. You know what I mean? So just learn how to not give them the energy. And I feel like she's giving Courtney too much energy, where it's like, damn, do you want her to have a peach? Do you want her to be the friend of the show where she can like seriously get paid at this point? Because you having beef with her, I think it would make the producer say, let's bring her on the show. You know what I mean? So with that being said, what is your take on this episode? Please like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments below, and I will see you on the next video, honey.